anything, babe, that God has placed on your heart to do, you can do it. When the team does take a loss, or when it seems like they're losing, they're not like, might as well just pack up our pom-poms and go home. No. Hello, beautiful. Welcome to Gems and Pearls with Love. I hope that all of you lovely ladies are doing well. It's been a while since I've done one of these cake with Kate type of videos. So because I know there are quite a bit of new subscribers since the last time I did it, I will just quickly explain what a cake with Kate video is. Basically, most of my videos are very like planned ahead of time. I have notes written down. It's a very like point form type of video, whereas a cake with Kate chat is basically just more laid back. It's casual. Sometimes I'm like doing something while I'm talking to you guys. I'm working on something, etc. Sometimes I'm just sitting down chilling like I am today. But basically it's just a more casual video. I try to give the vibe of like you're coming over to sit down and talk with me. So you may hear background noises. It's not going to be very formal and maybe professional seeming. It's like, yeah, you came over and we're just kind of having a chat. That's the vibe of Cake with Kate videos. So sorry if you already heard this before and you're like, okay, I already know what it is. But yeah, if you don't know, now you know. Anyhow, so today I wanted to talk with you ladies about being your husband's cheerleader. So as with most Cake with Kate videos, I do not have notes. This is just me going off the top of my head. What does it mean to be your husband's cheerleader to you? And I'm actually asking you because I want you to go and comment and let me know, what does it mean to you to be your husband's cheerleader? To me, being your husband's cheerleader is, of course, supporting him and having his back. And that's something I actually talked about in the previous videos where I was going into like how we can encourage and inspire our men to be leaders in the relationship. That's one of the things I touched on. Supporting him and having his back. So that I would say is one of the most important things to being your husband's cheerleader. He needs to know that like even if he fails, he makes a mistake, like you're not going to kick him while he's down. You're going to say, babe, it's all right. Don't worry. We'll figure it out. We got it. And yeah, just having his back, being that support system, like being the one to rub his back and encourage him and just let him know that like, if you don't want to talk right now, it's fine. But if you want to talk, I'm here for you. Right? So being that sense of like encouragement, making it known to your man that even if everybody else is against you, even if everybody else is like, you're ridiculous, like, why did you do that, etc., you're not going to be the one to do that. No, girl, you're going to be the one that is like, we got this, babe. We'll figure it out. Things happen. We'll figure it out, right? I have you. So, when I was thinking about cheerleader, one of the things I was thinking about was the cheerleaders for sports team. They come out and they do these cheers and they do these things that are really encouraging and they're very positive. They're very uplifting. They're usually, they're smiling. They're like a beacon of sunshine in a sense. And, I think that's something that we can learn from that. We can learn about being positive, right? Thinking the best. And this is biblical, guys. We are told that we are supposed to think on things that are excellent, praiseworthy, and, we should be thinking the best. We should be speaking the best. Speaking life over him. And that's another point. But let's go back to thinking about cheerleaders, for sports teams. They are faithful. Like these cheerleaders, even if it's a team that really sucks, a team that usually like never wins, they don't come out with any less enthusiasm. They are still like, yeah, go team, go. Like they are still have that energy and that positivity. Every time that team could lose 10 games in a row, but you will still see them come back with that excitement, that energy, and that positivity. They're still cheering like as if their team is the winning team. That's another thing I think that we can learn from those cheerleaders. When your husband has taken a couple losses, when he's made some mistakes, do we when he's about, like, if he's, let's say for example, if you married a visionary kind of man, and that this man, he's always up to some sort of like business or some sort of venture. He's always doing something, trying to do something. Maybe even if it's 10, 15, 20 times in a row, he wasn't successful at that. When he comes to you and he says, babe, I got an idea and I think this is going to work for you. When he comes to you and says that to you for the 50th time, are you coming with the same energy like those cheerleaders who have been on that team that's continuously losing? Are you coming with the same energy and the same positivity? Are you coming in saying like, all right, babe, okay, you got this, you can do this? And I don't want to be misunderstood. I'm not trying to say that if you don't have any concerns that you shouldn't voice that. I think there's a place for that. There is a place for that, like to voice some concerns or share your opinions. But we have to be very careful how we do it. It cannot be in a way where it's like, okay, that's never gonna work. Kind of a way. But you can say, okay, that's really great idea, babe. Have you thought of etc. etc.? Just make sure that when you are sharing those maybe word of cautions, that is done in a way that is very respectful, positive, that he still at the end of the day feels and knows that you're on his team. There's times where I've had to say to my husband like, okay babe, there's something that I think that you maybe want to take in consideration, and I will share whatever that is. And he's like, I never really thought of it that way. I gotta think about that. And the reason why he even took that into consideration, the reason why he decided that's something to think about, is because of the way that I presented that. Because there's been times where I didn't present that well, right? And instead of coming in a way that is having the tone and words that I chose that sounds positive and uplifting, it's more like something more demeaning, or like to make him feel like he's stupid or incompetent, because there's a way that we can do either one. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like if he's saying something that's crazy, you have to be like, oh my god, like, yeah, this is perfect idea. You can share your concerns, but be careful how you do it. I just want to add really quickly that it will actually be doing our husband a disservice as his helpmeet when we do not share a legitimate concern. But anyways, we're talking about being a cheerleader here. So yes, like, you want your husband to know, you want your man to know that you believe in him. If nobody else believes in him, it's you. If he makes it to the top, you want him to be able to say, you know what? My wife believed into me the whole time, even if nobody else did. Even if everybody thought I was crazy, my wife believed into me. Right? That's the cheerleader. And I really believe that every man needs a cheerleader in his life. He needs that woman that is having his back and saying, you got this, babe. You can do this. I believe in you. And the thing is that we have so much power as women to call out the best in our men. I don't think that many women realize how much power we have with our power of influence we have in our husband's life, and how that power of influence can be used for really good things. It can be used in such a positive way that really calls out the king in our man, that really uplifts him. And it can be used in very negative ways. A man can have a woman and be like almost a nobody in his life. And then he can have another woman and he just reaches, he just is so successful. Because here's the thing, because of the fact that we are believing the best in him and we're believing that you can do this, you got this, that makes them want to prove you right. And you know, I'm not gonna go too deep into that in particular, because that is actually something that I want to talk about in a video. There was one of the videos that I put on the list that you guys voted for a few months back, was how we can get our husbands, encourage our husbands to change for the better in a sense. Or I don't remember what exactly I said, but it was something on those lines. And so I don't want to go too deep on that because I want to talk about that in that video. But our husbands, or even if it's just, you know, the man you're courting or whatever the case is, like, they want a cheerleader. They want to know that their woman has their back, that their woman believes that they can do anything. Anything babe, that God has placed on your heart to do, you can do it. Right? When he's down and he feels like quitting, babe, you're not no quitter. Right? And we're not going to do this in like this kind of mothering way, right? Because there's a certain way that we will speak to our children that we don't want to speak to. We don't want to speak to our husbands, right? To our sons, we may say, "Oh, I'm so proud of you, son. You did this, you did that." To our husbands, we're going to say, "Honestly, what you did was inspiring. I love that you took the initiative. I love that you have such a drive for this." Right? So you want to be careful to not mix the two. But be a cheerleader, guys. He needs to know that you have his back. He needs to know that you're cheering him on. He needs to know that even if everybody else is like, "You're crazy, this is not going to work," you're here like, if you put your mind to this, you can do this. You got this. So, you know, be like those cheerleaders for sports team that even if he's being down and out, you're going to come out with the same energies you did in the beginning. You're not going to be like, what's the point? What's the point? You know, you did this and it failed, so why would this one be successful? No. You're going to come with the same excitement, the same energy, the same optimistic. Yeah, that one didn't go well, but now you've learned from that. So, babe, you got this. You can do this. Another thing that we can learn from those cheerleaders for teams is that when the team does take a loss, or when it seems like they're losing, they're not like, "Might as well just pack up our pom-poms and go home." No, they are still energetic. They are, well, when they're losing, they're still like, "Woo, go team, go." They're still cheering them on even when they see they are taking losses. So that's another thing that we can learn and take from these cheerleaders. What ways do you cheer on your man? What ways do you be a cheerleader? How do you feel that we can be cheerleader for our men? That's the question I have for you guys. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to drop a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. And really consider and pray about becoming a member. We go into some deep topics in our little membership club thingy. So you might see the button that says join. And if you do not, because I find for some reason my iPhone I do not see the join button, but my Samsung I do, which is weird. But if you do not see the button, don't worry, I got you, because the link is in the description. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, goodbye.